Angel Reese's drama has taken a terrifying new turn, and it's not just about basketball this time. According to family sources, Angel Reese's family intends to sue the Chicago Sky, alleging the team intentionally had her play while she was experiencing emotional and physical difficulties and then attempted to hide the breakdown that sent her to the hospital. It's not a rumor. The WNBA as a whole might be rocked by this shocking complaint. Insiders claim that the Reese family has gathered startling internal communications, secret medical records, and private tapes that demonstrate the team knew Angel wasn't fit to play but nevertheless encouraged her to do so in order to boost ticket sales and publicity. After being silent for days, Angel's mother has now come forward to denounce the team's behavior as unforgivable and to allude to the impending court struggle. Why did fans not know about Angel's breakdown? Who at the top signed off on this? How extensive is the cover-up? This is a battle for justice, not merely a player versus team dispute. The family is also prepared to remove the gloves. The lawsuit is on the horizon. The receipts are authentic. Furthermore, nothing will ever be the same again. Angel Reese was enjoying the high of being one of the WNBA's most marketable stars only a few weeks ago. She was the face of the Chicago Sky thanks to her feisty attitude, her burgeoning social media presence, and her rising Reebok deal. However, things were not going well behind the scenes. After several contentious episodes on and off the court, Angel has been displaying symptoms of emotional weariness, conflict with teammates, and stress from constant media scrutiny, according to several close sources. According to insiders, the pressure was internal as well as external. Several employees claim that the Chicago Sky front office secretly encouraged Angel to maintain appearances, disregard injuries, and tough it out despite her mental health failing. Angel allegedly pleaded for time away from the squad after her furious on-court outburst and a series of stressful locker room encounters, but insiders say her request was turned down, citing national TV coverage, attendance targets, and marketing commitments. Team executives allegedly hurried her back into games. The coaches and administration, according to one former employee, were more concerned with keeping up public image than protecting their own players. And the atmosphere was toxic and ruthlessly profit-driven. Then the tipping point arrived. Team physicians were reportedly called in after Angel fainted after a terrible away game loss, during which she appeared obviously agitated, irritated, and disinterested. Her family maintains that there was a complete emotional and physical breakdown, despite the team's assertion that it was only exhaustion. The team discreetly removed any public reference to the incident after she was taken to a private hospital. Her family, however, had no intention of remaining silent. Angel's mother claims that things had been getting worse for weeks. Her mother allegedly wrote, "They pushed her past her limit," in a since-deleted post from a burner account connected to the Reese family. This was a betrayal, not a breakdown. In group chats, fan forums, and private social media communications, other family members quickly started to voice their opinions. They said that the team had disregarded several warnings regarding Angel's mental health and had even suppressed employees who attempted to voice their concerns. Lawyers were summoned in behind the scenes. We looked over medical records. A legal plan started to take form. The Reese family is reportedly preparing a large lawsuit against the Chicago Sky, accusing the team of medical incompetence, emotional abuse, and purposeful cover-up of Angel's mental health problem. As evidence mounts and media attention grows, what started off as a small dispute is rapidly turning into the largest scandal in WNBA history. Furthermore, if the family's allegations are accurate, more than just Angel's future is at stake. There can be unanticipated repercussions for the entire brand. The legal bombshell was a direct hit to the Chicago Sky organization, and it wasn't just a rumor. The legal notice, which was discreetly delivered to the team's front office on July 27, described what Angel Reese's legal team described as a systematic failure to protect a vulnerable player's health and well-being. It accused upper management, coaching staff, and team doctors of plotting to conceal the seriousness of Angel's mental and emotional condition, even as it became impossible to ignore signs of decline. The accusations were startling. Angel was diagnosed with significant anxiety-related exhaustion and reportedly had several panic episodes during practices. According to leaked medical memos that are currently making the rounds in the WNBA, although her family claims that assistant coaches saw at least one of these occurrences, no formal complaint was ever made and no rest routine was started. That's not all, though. An anonymous nurse from the Chicago medical facility, where Angel was admitted, gave an independent reporter access to internal documents revealing that Angel Reese was put on suicide watch during her initial 48-hour hospital stay, which is now being referred to as the first significant twist in the developing drama. The discovery crushed any last pretense that this was just exhaustion or a typical breakdown. The nurse stated, "She came in completely depleted mentally, physically, emotionally, claiming to be speaking up in defense of the truth. She was scared, and her vitals were erratic. This young lady was pushed well beyond her breaking point. The ramifications were enormous. Her team may be subject to severe legal and professional repercussions if Angel was placed under observation and they persisted in downplaying it in public, particularly if medical confidentiality regulations were broken." Behind the scenes, the Chicago Sky organization was frantically working. Internal emails revealed a desperate attempt to stop the leak, silence whistleblowers, and spin the story as a minor personal health matter. Several team members were allegedly instructed to deny all knowledge of mental health issues and to direct all media inquiries to PR officials. According to a source inside the team's legal department, however, the harm had already been done. A social media movement started to emerge as public trust was rapidly declining. Within hours, the hashtag #ProtectAngelReese went viral as influencers, fans, and former players demanded clarity. Legendary WNBA players Lisa Leslie and Cappie Pondexter hinted in their cryptic tweets that this was not the first instance of a team concealing mental health problems in order to preserve their reputation, and in a startling turn of events that made everything worse. The coaching staff publicly ridiculed Angel's emotional state in meetings, labeling her a drama queen and accusing her of faking it for attention, according to a former Sky assistant coach who violated her NDA and shared a video. That video quickly became viral. The question isn't whether the Reese family has a case anymore. With insider leaks abounding, medical records becoming public, and the Sky organization in full crisis mode, it's the extent of this scandal and the potential consequences for others. Everything changed when an explosive video surfaced, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse. A recorded recording of a private locker room, purportedly taken just days prior to Angel Reese's illness, went popular on a gossip website. A visibly distraught Angel can be seen pacing the team locker room in the shaky video, crying excessively, and yelling, "They don't care if I drop dead on that court." Voices that are now thought to be coaches and teammates may be heard laughing in the background. It's a chill moment. "Once again, she's being dramatic," one voice dismissively remarks. Someone call TMZ. "Angel's having a moment," teasingly says another. The internet erupted in indignation. The video received over 10 million views in a matter of hours. In addition to the apparent brutality displayed by those surrounding Angel, fans were incensed at the larger culture of silence that let it occur. Even ESPN panelists, who usually steer clear of internal disputes of this nature, were demanding answers as mental health advocates started demanding a thorough WNBA inquiry. However, Angel Reese's own cousin, a former Division I basketball player, delivered the most devastating blow when she spoke out in an emotional Instagram live. She fought back tears as she remarked, "She didn't just break down. Angel begged to be put on the bench. She claimed to be suffering panic episodes and was having trouble breathing. She claimed she was dying from the pressure. I advised her to leave when they advised her to play through it and toughen up. I pleaded with her to rest. She said, however, that she couldn't. She dreaded being called weak. Look where we are now." The stream's emotional impact extended well beyond the WNBA community. The JED Foundation and NAMI, to mental health organizations, issued statements supporting Angel's family and denouncing what they called a culture of toxic toughness in professional women's sports. Even well-known players outside of basketball, such as Olympic gymnast Simone Biles and tennis player Naomi Osaka, who have both openly discussed their personal struggles with mental health, shared the video on social media with supportive comments. "This is precisely why I stepped away," was Osaka's succinct but impactful message. Keep Angel safe at all costs. There was another twist though. In a shocking podcast appearance, a former WNBA executive came forward and said that the league may have put pressure on the Chicago Sky to keep Angel on the team. The executive said that league marketing funds were heavily tied to Angel's performance on the court, particularly after Caitlin Clark's ascent to fame diverted focus from Chicago. She stated, "They wanted both stars active, at all costs. Angel was the drama, the spark, and the fallback option. And if she became exhausted, that was a problem for someone else. The sports world was rocked by this statement. What began as a personal health issue had now descended into a large institutional scandal that involved coaches, club physicians, the league office, and even big sponsors. All of a sudden, Angel Reese was no longer the only focus. The aftermath was only getting started. And it concerned a system that was prepared to forego mental health in favor of media numbers. The public's reaction was immediate and completely explosive. Within hours after the release of the video and the family's lawsuit announcement, the hashtags #JusticeForAngel, #WNBA cover-up, and #MentalHealthMatters started to trend on social media. Outrage, heartache, and sheer incredulity inundated platforms from TikTok producers, Twitter commentators, and even ordinary sports fans. It was best summed up in a user's tweet. They used her, broke her, silenced her hand, now they want to act shocked, she collapsed. Horrible. Angel Reese was worthy of better. When other WNBA players started to come up, some in support of Angel and others in silent denial, the real firestorm started. Keeping your peace is not a sign of weakness, tweeted Kelsey Plum. I support Angel. It is not appropriate to push any athlete past their breaking point. Araike Ogunboel shared a story on social media with the simple caption, "We all saw it, and simply didn't anticipate things progressing this far." During a post-game press conference, even Caitlin Clark, who has frequently been portrayed in the media as Angel's rival, broke her silence with an uncommon, uncensored quote, "On the court, we compete fiercely, but no one deserves what Angel is going through. I hope she understands that she is not alone." However, not everyone was supportive. In a very sanitized statement, Chicago Sky's interim public relations staff said they were fully cooperating with any investigations and were deeply concerned about Angel's health, but fans didn't believe them. Vomit emojis and allegations of lies were common in comment sections. During a YouTube livestream, Yolanda Hartley, the recently sacked mid-season assistant coach for the Chicago Sky, also dropped a surprise. She reported that Angel begged for a mental health day during rehearsal, but she was turned down because marketing said she needed to be seen smiling at the Reebok event that weekend. Hartley maintained, Angel's breakdown wasn't sudden. It was cruel, slow, and entirely avoidable. They were all aware. Sponsors started to withdraw. Hydro Boost, a sponsor of the Chicago Sky's training gear, declared that it was halting its agreement until further notice. Reebok replaced a banner featuring Reese on its homepage with a generic image of women's sports. Public confidence was eroding. The WNBA was at a terrible turning point in its history. A league-wide reckoning over health, exploitation, and institutional treachery was now taking place during what was supposed to be the season of empowerment. With rising stars like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark ushering in a new era, silent, broken, and still in the hospital, Angel Reese stood in the center of the storm. The tale took an astounding turn just when it appeared like the indignation could not grow much worse. Numerous sports media outlets, including TMZ and even Rolling Stone, received a fresh anonymous insider leak late last night. Screenshots of internal communications between WNBA marketing officials, team physicians, and Chicago Sky employees were included in the email. The internet was rocked by a single statement made by a team executive. Spin it as tiredness if she breaks under pressure. People sympathize with mental health issues. If necessary, we ride that wave. Yes, you read correctly. It was there, chilly, calculated, written down. This appeared to be a planned attempt to use Angel Reese's physical and emotional suffering as a publicity stunt rather than merely a cover-up. The texts were dated 2 days prior to Angel's notorious collapse and hospitalization, so the timing couldn't have been more ominous. The day that she supposedly pleaded for sleep. Worse, according to a different file in the leak, the team purposefully downplayed neurological red flags noted during post-game inspections and hid some medical records from Angel's own family, preventing them from realizing the seriousness of her illness. At 6 in the morning, her family, now devastated and enraged, issued a heartfelt united statement. We think that Angel's health was purposefully jeopardized. This is no longer about basketball. This has to do with fundamental human decency. Since then, the commissioner of the WNBA has mandated an urgent ethical review. Leading legal experts are saying that if the leak is confirmed, criminal prosecution may ensue. What's the biggest twist? Regardless of a health clearance, a source close to Angel's camp now says she might never return to the Chicago Sky. before any contract responsibilities resume. This insider claims that Angel's management staff has already started discreet discussions with rival teams about trades or even possible legal action. Will Angel Reese's time with Chicago come to an end? Or was this the start of her becoming the most influential player advocate the WNBA has ever seen? One thing is certain: the game is no longer the same. And what Angel Reese does next might either blow the league as a whole apart or permanently bury the truth. You already know that this is more than simply a sports narrative if you've read this far. This surpasses Angel Reese in size, greater than that of the WNBA. Accountability, player safety, and how far organizations will go to preserve their reputation at the expense of their own stars are at issue here. Angel Reese put her body, her feelings, and her pride into this game. The same organization that once featured her face on every billboard has now left her devastated, voiceless, and all but forgotten. The fans, we now ask you, will you support Angel Reese? Because now is not the moment to relax. Now is the moment to demand openness, speak up, and tell the truth. Tell us in the comment section below, is it time for Angel Reese to permanently leave the Chicago sky? Is there anything you think the WNBA is concealing? And if it turns out that these leaked messages are authentic, what penalty ought to be imposed? Your voice is what we want to hear. Don't worry, the league is keeping an eye on you. If you're prepared for the whole truth, be sure to click the subscribe button. Our upcoming film contains exclusive insider information that might completely alter the course of events. It includes startling information about Angel's possible lawsuit, trade talks, and even a candid interview from someone inside the locker room. Don't miss it then. Stand with Angel and hit that like button. Show the world what's truly happening by sharing this video. And keep in mind that this story is not yet finished. We're covering more than simply a breakdown. A system is being made public. And this is just the start. Remain locked in, because the next chapter of Angel Reese's life could be the most combustible one yet.